Well, you touched on Elon and Trump. Now, after Trump gets elected, Elon becomes one of the head people in DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. But then in June, Elon started criticizing Trump's domestic spending bill, and the two of them have a fallout, and they start basically insulting each other on social media. But then recently, at Charlie Kirk's funeral, Elon and Trump reunited.
Yes.
What did you think of the whole Elon,
Well,
working with Trump and then falling out with Trump and then now somewhat reuniting with Trump? We're not sure exactly where it's going, but there is like a love-hate relationship between the two.
well, what I would say is, first of all, towards June of this last year, Elon and Trump had been in a very intense period of time for months on end, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they had achieved an enormous amount in that time. And of course, a lot of the time they were living on, their last resources physically. And suddenly everything came together, everything looked good. And at that point, I put it like this, they found they were still loaded with adrenaline or something, and they sort of turned on each other or something to that effect. Elon has always had this idea of how things should be run. As I tried to explain to Elon at the time, I said you can run businesses like that, but people can't be run like a business. People are different. Politics is different. Politics is 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. And Trump knows that, but Elon has had to learn that. And I knew that they would, get back together at some point. I'm reminded of a story that people know quite well in this country. During the Boer War, and this story has been told by other people of the same caliber, during the Boer War, we had a man here called General Smuts, who was famous. There's a statue of him outside the Parliament in England. And Smuts was a Boer general during the Boer War, and he carried the war on. After the peace treaty was signed in Vereniging in 1901, he carried on fighting as a guerrilla fighter for the next 2 years, until he was finally forced to surrender to the British. And Smuts was afterwards asked what was the biggest problem he had with the Boer. And he said, the biggest problem I had was every single member of my army of 35,000 men, considered himself equal to me and equally capable of being a general. Now, this is a very important thing to understand. It seems to be a problem among the very common sense, level-headed, proper people in the world, proper men in the world, that they each consider themselves equally capable of being the prime minister, the president, or the general. And whoever is elected to that position is viewed with great examination, great inspection. And as Smuts said, it was very difficult to lead an army in which every single man had to be explained to by himself what the plan was and get his approval. So you bring that back to Elon and Trump, and you understand when you have two alpha, super alpha males, it ultimately becomes something that you see in the wild with lions and elephants and other large creatures. They do not give in to each other until one is supreme. And I told Elon, you're not going to win this with Donald Trump. I told him in June, you're not going to win this. Donald Trump's older than you. He's going to win this. He has more experience. He's going to win, which he did. And I'm very, very pleased to know that Elon has learned a great deal. You can't run a country like a business. It's not a business. You have to include the poor, the crippled, the not so bright. All kinds of people are all just as important as those that have AAA sets or SATs or whatever it's called. And so Elon has had to learn that.